Quality calls go beyond just passing the information and getting the clients to understand whatever you wanted to pass across. Among other things that I already discussed in the previous videos, there is to it voice projection. You make the calls much better if you are audible and clear. For some people, this is not very difficult to achieve in their natural voice, but to some, you realize you might need to do much more and maybe get to raise your voice beyond your normal tone for you to be easily understood, for you to be clearer. Some clients will expressly tell you they're not able to hear you. Some might be struggling to hear you, but they might just struggle through the call without really getting to let you know. If you find yourself repeating a lot, then get to know you have a problem or a difficulty with your voice projection. If the client keeps asking you to pardon, then this is your struggle. You need to project your voice beyond the normal flat speaking voice. At times it demands that you could be also having things like a better headphone or an earphone that can also aid in getting yourself clear when you're communicating with the client on call. The office at times provides things like the headphone to help with this, but it costs nothing and it hurts no one if you can get even a better gadget for quality calls. So you can perhaps get to understand where the problem is. Either it's your voice or it could be the gadget if you're using the 3CX on your phone. It could even be the voice problems with your gadget. So maybe at times you're using it on your laptop and you realize you're a bit low. You need to first of all diagnose where you are losing sound. Then, having known where the problem is, then you can easily get to understand the steps you take to addressing it, among which I prefer you get to raise your voice a bit higher. You don't really need to sound like you are shouting to the client, but you need to raise it in a moderate way where it gets out as mellow and smooth and clear, so that the client is able to easily understand whatever you are passing across to them. So if a bigger percentage of the clients you call are not able to clearly hear you, then probably it might not be your gadget. It could be just a simple challenge with the way you project your voice. So you can just raise your voice a bit louder so that you get to be clearer. In this regard, you might also consider preparing yourself emotionally before every call, so that your mind and your attention are on the call. This will help you be clear and audible from the onset, from the introduction, because at times we lose our voice just because we are not mentally prepared for that particular call. So always prepare for every call that you want to handle beforehand, so that you even know the words, or at least you have a template of what you are going to say to the client once they are engaged. Knowing what to tell the client when they are on call, or when they are on that particular call you're making, will boost your confidence, because at times your voice might fall low because you're not confident. You don't have the words and you don't know exactly what you are supposed to tell that particular client. So be able to have a formulate a template for general calls, so that if it's not an issue or an inquiry that the client is making, you're able to know what exactly the call would look like before you make that particular call. Also, equip yourself with the knowledge of the product. It helps a lot in boosting your confidence when you know exactly how to respond to the client queries mid-call, because at times a client asks something that is not related to what you called them for. So if you understand the products quite well, you would still move throughout the call without much difficulty, because if you're being asked something that you don't know and the client expects you to be knowing everything, to be knowing your stuff, then your confidence is ruined, and naturally you'll be sounding low and shaky. It affects your tone if you're not confident in that particular call. So get to put your stuff together, collect yourself, and be able to know exactly how to respond to most common things, so that you're not in any time caught off guard. This boosts your confidence, and it also helps in the way you project your voice when you're speaking, because if you're confident, you'll sound firm, you will sound loud, and you'll be obviously audible. Also put your attention on one thing. When you are on a call with a client, ensure your focus and your mind, everything, the energy is channeled to that particular call, so that your attention is not divided. If your attention is divided, then there would be times when the client is not able to clearly get you, because your mind is elsewhere, and you can't even realize that you are not as clear as you think you are if your attention is divided. So always have your mind on that call until the call is done, until you are done and you've concluded that call with the client. Also be intentional or deliberate in giving clients quality time. If you have decided you are going to make the call as good as you can, you have decided you are going to give that call your best, then obviously you will put the effort through that call to ensure you are clear. So be deliberate in giving clients quality time, and this would mean putting together all the things that I've already mentioned, and even going the extra mile to get to be acquainted with every information about that particular product that the client might ask, and also getting things like better gadget and better voice projection, and all these things put together, the client would be given quality time. So be deliberate about making the few minutes you are having with that client worth it. Give the client value through that call, and if you're deliberate about it, then you're going to put everything that would gear you towards achieving it. You also need to learn to reschedule a call if you're not sure of what to tell the client. At times clients ask questions that you might not be able to respond to instantly. Some people are tempted to begin fumbling with information they're not sure about. This equally will severe the quality of that call, because when once you're fumbling, you will not be as loud, you won't be as audible. Then the client will be wondering whether you actually know whatever you are telling them. So you should learn to reschedule a call if you realize you're struggling with an information the client has asked you to provide. You can just kindly request to call them back with clear information, other than just fumbling and telling them things that you're not aware. Then you end up misguiding them. Also, if you are not able to address a matter with a client on a call, you can equally transfer. If you know of an agent who could be directly be able to help that client, they could maybe provide an instant feedback about the matter the client has raised or has inquired about. You can just request the client if they're okay to be transferred, and when doing this, you need to first of all confirm that that particular agent is free to handle that client, is free to handle that matter, so that you're